All right, what is up, all you wonderful people? This is the second episode of Bedsheet BallZone. And Ethan, who are these people? They weren't here last time. Who
Here
are
on the
these?
top, we got Mr. Matt Carroll out of Chicago, Illinois. He's my boy.
Hello,
He's my
everybody.
roommate. He's in the room just right over there. Yeah, great guy.
Tell us something about yourself, Mac.
I'm from Chicago. I like to play a lot of golf.
Mm,
And then when it comes to sports, I'm more professional based rather than college and more well versed in the whole aspect, not a
mm,
specific sport.
Valid.
lovely. And Mr. Nathan Keiss, Nader Tot 737.
What's up, Bubba? That was a really cringy intro, but
Bro,
sorry,
chill.
sorry. But
Chill.
anyways, yeah, I'm Nate, from Kansas. I know very little about sports, but like to talk like I know a lot. So take my takes with that in mind. Don't don't get mad, but
All
all
right.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
We got an
good
expert
to
on
see
our
you, boys. Good
hands.
to have you on. Alex, hit us with what we're talking about.
Yeah, so podcast we're gonna do a couple different things. First, we're gonna talk about football and the NFL. Like we're gonna have our predictions for this next weekend. We're recording this on the 24th, so the conference championship games, so the AFC and NFC championship games. And then we're going to talk a little bit about basketball, specifically the Thunder, Chet versus Shea. We're going to have a
Playing
little
right now.
argument discussion. They're playing right now against Wembanyama. That's must-see TV. Um, and then to finish up, we're going to do this new segment called Would You Rather? And we're going to have players, and I'm going to list off some players, and we're going to talk about where we rank them and who we'd rather
Bet,
have for
bet.
the next year. So we got some spicy ones. I'm really excited for that segment. That's gonna be fun. And yeah, but first off, I just want to say shout out Ethan and I because we were low key on the money on our last episode about the playoffs.
I was
So
pretty very on the money actually.
yeah, I think the only thing we really got wrong is that we both said that the Niners were gonna smoke Green Bay and they barely
Yeah, that
won.
was a
Other than
close
that,
game.
though, pretty much on the money.
Yeah.
So yeah, so who do you guys have in the coming out of the AFC? Who do you guys making the Super Bowl? Ravens or Chiefs?
You know me, I've got a little bias, but
All right.
I've got the Chiefs coming through. Another Super Bowl. Nate.
I as well. Sorry, I'm also biased, but not gonna lie, it's easy Chiefs. I mean, er,
Two,
people
easy.
been da easy. People been doubting us all year. All right, got a top five defense in the league. Okay, L'Jarius
Valid.
Sneed is gonna lock up Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews is supposedly coming back. I'm not too worried about it. He's still gonna be shaky off injury, and I think at the end of the day, Mahomes is just gonna go out there, sling the rock. Pacheco's gonna get on the ground game, pound it hard into that defense, and by the end of the
Mm.
game, they're going to be tired, and we're going to finish out the game strong. I'm predicting 20. No, we'll go 31 to 28 Chiefs.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, say
you're gonna
that
drop a
again.
30 piece on
Say
that
that again.
defense?
I've got a
31 to
higher
28
scoring.
Chiefs.
I've got
31, 28.
I've got
Yeah.
Chiefs 35-31. I've got
Okay.
it going way over.
Whoa,
Interesting.
okay. What
Uh-huh.
about you, Mac? What you
I
got?
I personally I have the Ravens. I've been a huge Lamar fan. I mean, like not huge, but like 2019 season on my fantasy team, baller,
Hmm.
MVP season, and I think he'll be MVP this season. And I think he'll take the team to the Super Bowl. Um, Final score wise, I probably will go like 28-21 in favor of the Ravens.
Still got the over.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
surprised. Like, I get that both of these defenses are really good, but the over's at 44 and a half. Like, I would have really
yeah,
figured it would have been higher than that because these two offenses are debatably more overpowered than the defenses.
yeah.
I
That's
think
fair.
I like the Ravens defense more than the Chiefs defense with
Yeah,
Kyle Hamilton.
I agree.
Uh, They've got
I
some
probably would
dogs
take
Shout
him.
on
out,
the
shout out
backside.
Kyle Hamilton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I also have the Ravens. That was my, like, before any of the playoffs started, that was my Super Bowl winner, actually. Spoiler alert. I have the Ravens winning the Super Bowl.
Mm,
And it's not that I'm doubting the Chiefs, okay? I said it last week when they were playing the Bills. I said the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and they've got a top five defense. Those two things combined will win you basically any game you want. Unfortunately, though, Ravens got a better defense and they got the MVP. They got one of the best rushing attacks. They got a better
Yeah, we
receiving
have
core.
playoff
I
Pat.
just, that's fair. That's fair. I
We've
love
got
Patrick Mahomes. I'm
playoff
not
Pat.
doubting him, but Baltimore literally doesn't have any flaw in my eyes. And they were my pick to win the Super Bowl before the playoffs started. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to have the Ravens winning. I don't think the Chiefs are going to have a lot of success on offense. I could see them like having good drives, but I could see them settling for more field goals than actual touchdowns, just because that Ravens defense is so
No,
good.
no.
In my
I've
opinion, that could be. I mean, maybe other than the Browns and Niners, that might have been the best defense this year. The Chiefs maybe could be in that conversation too, but I just I can't not take the Ravens right now. My final score will probably be I don't know, it's tough. Maybe 17-27, something like that in favor of the Ravens.
Ravens.
I could be it being a little bit closer, but
17.
I don't like it depends on like how close the game is and depending on the quarters if they're going to take the field goals or if they're going to try and go for the touchdowns on like
I
third and
think
fourth down.
we
We'll see
we've
how
had
conservative they are.
we've had red zone problems like for a lot of the regular season, but we're the Chiefs in the playoffs. He's
Yeah.
Patty in the playoffs. Like the red zone efficiency has gone up in the playoffs from the regular season. And I just think like we're just building right now. We're just
Yeah.
hitting our stride right at the perfect time.
If
As
the Chiefs
long
come out,
as
go
long
ahead.
as McCole Hardman does not get to touch the ball, our red
Please
zone
no
efficiency will be
Miko
good.
Hardman jet sweep. No
Oh
jet
my
sweep.
God, if he gets the ball, I'm turning off the TV.
I'm sick and
Every
tired of
every
it.
every Chiefs game I've watched this year, Rashid Rice, your rookie, he's
Yeah,
a baller.
baller.
Everybody else on that receiving core sucks.
Yeah,
Sucks.
Even
yeah.
Kelsey, bro.
Oh,
Kelsey's been so
yeah,
Even
disappointing. He
Kelsey.
he's
doesn't
been
Okay,
so
suck.
Not in
ass.
the
chill,
He's
not in
been
the playoffs.
chill,
disappointing.
Not in the
He's been
playoffs.
chill,
mid.
Not in the
He's
playoffs.
been
chill.
mid. Sam Laporta's low-key been
He
better than
had
him for
two
the past few
touchdowns last
months.
game.
Yeah, chill with that.
Okay, that
Whatever.
yeah. Besides last game, Travis has been not good.
Yeah, he's been a non-factor.
He
He's
hasn't
been
been
not
like
good compared to his previous years. He's still
oh totally.
obviously like no doubt a top three tight end.
But that's because he gets the looks, and if he can't
Yeah.
make the plays
Yeah,
on the
like
looks, then
he
he's not
never
as good.
blocks. Like I've said it before, like he's pretty much just a wide receiver. He never blocks. He just runs
Yeah,
Yeah.
routes. Even on running
totally.
plays, he goes.
He's a
He doesn't
baller. He's a
block.
baller for sure. But I haven't seen as much production this year compared to previous years. And if he can keep up his playoff greatness, I think the Chiefs have a chance, but not against the Ravens.
Yeah. And
It's
I
fair.
don't want to get this twisted at all. If the Chiefs do come out and we do see just Patrick Mahomes say, hey, I don't care what your defense is, I don't care what my receiving core is, I am the GOAT. I am the greatest talent at quarterback of all time. I'm going to drop a 30 piece on your dome and I'm going to take my team to the Super Bowl. I will not be surprised. Will I be impressed? Yeah, because that would be, I mean, if Mahomes drops a 30 piece going into Baltimore against that defense, that might be one of the best performances I've seen in a bit. But am I betting on it? No. That's why I have the Ravens, but it's very winnable for the Chiefs. I mean, they six straight seasons, AFC Championship, and they've been to the Super Bowl many times. They've won the Super Bowl. I mean, we literally saw Mahomes win a Super Bowl on a broken foot,
Yeah,
like
he's
like
just a
like on an
baller.
injured foot. So yeah,
I like the four teams. I like the four teams in contention right now. I think they all have a chance. Some
I
more
like
than
the
others,
three
but they all have a
teams.
chance for sure.
I like the three teams that
Okay.
are in contention. I don't count the Lions. They're fraudulent.
Really?
I'll stand on that. I'll
Really?
stand on that. Have they beaten a
We gotta
playoff caliber
talk
team
about
yet?
that one.
The Bucks and the Rams, bro. Oh my gosh.
You
I don't
literally
want to
had the Rams beating them, so would that not make them a playoff caliber team?
just because I liked the experience of Matt Stafford and the coaching. I also thought they were. I was like, I think the Lions are fraudulent still, but like they won by a point against the
I thought
Rams,
the Rams were
and
gonna win.
yeah, I'm not a fan of Dan Campbell personally. I don't think that that team's as good as they are, and I don't know. I think maybe seven or like one or two possessions. Niners win by 7, 10, 14 points. I don't really see it being a contention. I just think
So
Niners dominate.
you're not going to take Lions +7?
No, not a
Smashing
chance.
it. I am
I feel like
hammering.
it's very free.
I'm putting a little sprinkle on Lions money line too.
With or without
At
Debo,
plus
I'm
two,
not touching
like
anything
Yeah,
with the
80
what are
or
we
Lions.
thinking
something.
with the Debo? What are we thinking with Debo or
He
without him? You
Rest
still don't
Debo,
think
you don't need him. You'll still win by 10.
he's not. I don't think
interesting?
he's. If he plays, I don't think he's going to be a factor really. I think he'll just kind of be decoy if he plays. And I
Got
think
it.
McCaffrey's going to just be killer this game, absolutely destroy them. But I said it in the last episode, but there's just something special about this Lions team. Like it just gives me a
I
feeling.
re- I don't really like the Lions defense. I don't know. I haven't really watched them that much, but
Yeah,
Swiss cheese.
they're
similar
they're
to the
not
Chiefs.
great, definitely not great, but we saw them step it up in the second half. One of the things
Yeah.
I wrote down was I think it's going to be this game will be a similar game to the Rams Lions game, where it's like one half is super high scoring and one half is super defensive.
Yeah.
And I've I've got Lions covering and probably 49ers to win, but like I'm hopeful for the Lions.
I
I
feel
think
like the
they
only
can
way
do
the
it.
Niners win is if CMC has like, sorry. Let me rephrase. I think they're going to win. I think the Niners are going to win, but I think they're going to need CMC to carry them because I think Brock Purdy is going to start to fall apart, kind of how he did last game a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm
I
taking the
mean,
Lions.
he threw a should have been pick six, and that would have maybe lost him the game if the Packers linebacker could just learn how to catch a ball thrown at his chest as a professional football
Pretty
player. But
much.
Mac, you said you got
I think
Lions? You got Lions
yeah,
in
I
the
think
Super
I'm taking
Bowl?
Lions. I've been
Whoa.
hot on the 49ers all season. I think they're obviously the best team in the league, but I I think when are they playing Sunday?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Are they,
At night.
okay,
They
come
play
Sunday. Come
they're
Sunday.
Lions are Sunday night. Chiefs are Sunday afternoon.
yeah.
Come Sunday, I think Dan Campbell is going to have a better game plan than Kyle Shanahan. Personal opinion.
MCDC.
All
MCDC. Yeah,
right,
I love it. I love it.
we got Alex
I
walking
don't know if he'll
out of
outcoach him.
stream.
I don't know if he'll outcoach him, but man, is he gonna want it more. Man, is he gonna
Yeah.
make his players fight. Come on.
Sorry, that was a little rude. I apologize. I just,
I
that's
know.
fair.
I like it. I
I,
like this.
I get that Detroit is America's team. I get that people love Dan Campbell for having a huge nutsack and
You're a
being the
hater.
ballsiest head
You're a
coach.
hater.
I
You're a
am not.
hater.
I'm a
You're a
hater.
hater.
I'm a D1 Lions hater. And when CMC has 3 total touchdowns and he has 100 rushing yards on that Lions poverty defense, I will say I told you so.
I
And
think he
if the
will,
Lions
but
win
I
that
think the
Super Bowl
Lions
game,
can still win.
that's fair. If the Lions win, I will own up to it. I was wrong. Either way, if the Lions make the Super Bowl, Chiefs or Ravens, they will
Getting the win.
easily smack them around like
I
they're
agree.
fiddlesticks. I can understand why we're
If the
not
Yeah.
so
Chiefs
high on
play
the
them, we're
Niners.
gonna want revenge. It's a
Yeah,
perfect way to cap off our season because first game, week one, first game of the NFL season,
that's
L to
poetic
the
justice
Lions
right
at
there.
Arrowhead,
Yeah,
and we
I
get
think the
revenge in
49ers
a
are the best
Super
team in the
Bowl. That
league.
would be crazy. I do too. The 49ers were my Super Bowl pick at the beginning of the season and at the beginning of the playoffs.
I just think
Yeah.
they'll choke this championship, this NFC championship.
Yeah, I
Have
get
some
why we're
choking.
not super high on the Niners because we just saw them almost lose to that Packers team. So I can get why we're not super high on them. But I've seen that team be like the past couple years been one of the best teams. I've seen them this year continue to be that team. They still have Fred Warner, Travarius Ward. They got Debo Sam. Even if Debo Samuel doesn't play, they got Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. In my
Yeah.
opinion, is the best tight end in the league. They got arguably the best head coach in the league, Kyle Shanahan. They're at home. I can't see a world where Dan Campbell and the Lions, the Detroit Lions, who have they ever been to a Super Bowl or
30
have they
years.
just not won it? It's been 30.
They
That
haven't
is a
won. They haven't
poverty
won.
team.
Yeah.
Okay, but they've been there. But their poverty
Maybe not. I don't know.
historically, I just can't see them going into San Francisco and winning that game. I just can't. I can't.
Yeah.
like it.
I completely see that point, and I completely get that. But if you weren't a Lions hater, then you'd be a little bit more on the Lions side, you know?
I
I guess
don't
that's
like the
fair.
Packers
One
or the
the,
Vikings, so I'm a big Lions guy because I'm
yeah,
a Bears fan.
the
Fair.
Bears, the
You like
the
you like the
over
Lions because they're poverty and it's always a good game against them.
the
Yeah.
the line for this one is at 51.5. What do you think about
Holy
that?
smokes. That's a good line, I feel like.
It
Under.
honestly is. That's in my
I have
notes,
it
I was like,
24-20.
I'm skeptical. Like, I don't really know where I want to go with that.
I would probably take the under.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hitting the under. I have it 24-20, the Lions winning.
I like that. I'll say 34-17.
49ers though.
They'll
Yeah.
win. They'll win by a good amount, in my
Dude, I
opinion.
don't even know. I think it'll be, say, 28-27 Lions.
I'm saying 27-21 Niners. I think it's
Wait,
close, but
you
I
took the
think
Lions, Ethan?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Lions, yeah.
So Mac, you
Okay.
have Ravens Lions Super Bowl. Ethan, you have Chiefs Lions Super Bowl. I have Ravens Niners, and Nate, you have Chiefs Niners. So we all have something different. Am I right or am I wrong?
Someone's gonna be right too.
That's
There we
crazy.
go.
Yeah, somebody
One of us
somebody
will be right.
doesn't have to be right. Wait, yeah, somebody does have to be right.
No, someone will be right.
Yeah, somebody
So
will be right.
there we go.
Yeah,
That'll be a fun thing to look back on.
Yeah.
that will be. Yeah, and I think who do you think is gonna have it wrong? Like completely wrong? Oh no. If Lions in the Ravens, nobody has Lions versus
I think
Ravens.
Bubba has it all.
Or no,
right.
I do.
He's the opposite of me.
I was gonna
so
say
I
I think Ethan's most wrong because he's the
Yeah.
exact opposite.
Yeah, you've got the opposite, so I've
Yeah.
gotta say you.
I think Ethan's gonna be wrong. I think I'm gonna be half wrong.
Yeah.
Or we'll see.
Yeah. It'll be fun. Football, even though it's coming in an end, it's been a great season. I can't wait to watch these
Hey,
games.
my picks last week were spot on.
There you go.
I gotta keep it going.
There you go. I just got a question. Who's gonna be, if you had to pick right now, Super Bowl MVP, who are you guys
Patrick
taking?
Mahomes.
Patrick
Pretty
Mahomes.
obvious.
Are you gonna take Lamar, Mac? Is that who you're thinking?
It's either gonna be Patty or Lamar.
Back.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick right now, my Super Bowl MVP would be Lamar, just because he's the QB of the winning team that I have winning the Super Bowl. Sneaky MVP, Kyle Hamilton.
CMC.
I could see him.
CMC sneaky MVP.
Well, I don't have the
A
Niners winning
cornerback
the
is
Super
not
Bowl.
winning the Super Bowl MVP. I'm sorry.
Kyle
He's a
Hamilton's not a
safety.
cornerback, and he plays defense, and
Sorry,
I know
safety.
he's not
Sorry,
going to win
safety. He's
it. I'm
not.
just saying, if Kyle Hamilton goes out, gets 2 picks, he
Yeah,
won't win
then
it just
Lamar
because
has 2
Lamar
touchdowns
is.
off of Yeah.
I know that's why I said he won't win MVP, but sneaky, like low key the
No,
playmaker, the
Could
game
never
changer of the
happen.
game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's
It's almost
happening.
like that's exactly what I said. So
So
calm down.
you should just say who should have the biggest impact that won't be an MVP.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, sorry.
Was Von Miller the last defensive player to
I think so. It
Yeah.
might be maybe other than did Lawrence Taylor win Super Bowl MVP? I actually don't know. How many defensive players have won MVP before?
Dude, I don't even
I
know.
actually have no idea.
I do not know.
But yeah, so that's gonna be our NFL championship weekend predictions. Um, and I think now we're gonna move on to NBA,
Nine.
specifically the
Nine
Thunder.
defensive players have won the Super Bowl MVP.
Really? Who was the last one? Von
9?
Miller?
It was
Yeah.
Von Miller, yeah.
Who was before Von Miller?
I'm guessing all the older ones were from before the
Always.
yeah.
Speaking
Right
of
before we were
Thunder,
born.
we're up 12 right now on the Spurs.
How
So
many does Wemby and Chet have? What is that looking
I
like?
don't know. I feel like I haven't really been seeing Chet that much, but I've been seeing Wimby. I think Jay Will is going off. Or J
Common.
Dub,
7?
whichever one. Jalen Williams a good one. Not really.
Both have 7 points.
Yeah, Chet's at 7, Wimby's at 7. Chet's got a better stat line than Wimby,
There we go.
but we're also
Yeah,
at 12. So
speaking of Chet Holmgren, that's a perfect segue to our next to our next topic,
bang.
which is okay. So how this segment came about was I was talking to some of our friends in Bedsheet, and we were talking about who's going to be the best player on the Thunder in like the next 2 to 3, 4 years, and everybody consensusly said Shea, and I was kind of like, Chet Holmgren was the second overall pick. He was labeled as this number one overall pick. He's a unicorn. He's a center with crazy good skills. He's 21 years old and is already one of the best defensive players in the year. I think he could be the best player on that Thunder team. Unfortunately for that take, literally, literally the day I said that, the next 2 weeks, Shea was kind of the MVP front runner for a week, and he was dropping 40 bombs on like 50, 60% efficiency left and right. And so I want to get this, I don't want to get this twisted. I want to make this clear. I do think now Shea will be the best player on the Thunder in 3 years, but I do want to talk about Chet and his progression because I do think that that could be a conversation that we have in 2 to 3 years.
Definitely. Definitely. He's going to be he's a unicorn. That's what he is. He's a unicorn. I mean, we use that for Kristaps. I don't really know if we can use that anymore, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like
Yeah.
he's something special and he's got a lot of talent. He's young. He knows how to shoot. He knows how to move. He knows how to post up. He can play defense. Just a perfect center. He's all that you can ask for right now in a center. But
100%.
with all that being said, I think Shea, this will be his team until he's not on the team anymore.
Yeah.
I think Shea's that special. I think he's that good. I think within the next 3 years, he can win an MVP for sure.
I
Me
don't
and
hate
Bubba
that take.
actually made that bet.
Really,
Did we
Yeah.
really?
Oh yeah.
I love
What
it.
was it? How much
I
did we
love
bet?
it.
I have it in my notes. Let me check. It was from a while ago.
$10 that he doesn't win an MVP in the next 3 years?
$20 that he does. I think
Okay.
he does. You said he doesn't.
I
So
don't think he will. But because I think it's going to be very similar to this year. It's like we're going to see. I feel like we're seeing Shea's ceiling right now. Like you can't get better than what Shea is right now. Like he's dropping 40 points on 60% efficiency. What more can he do? Like we're seeing him lead the league in steals too. It's like how much better can he get? And he's still the third or fourth MVP favorite, you know?
Yeah,
It's just
I
it's
don't
hard it's
think
harder to win it as a guard too. So
you included, but we've talked about this before, and I know like how you stand on Shea, but like he has so much talent. If you watch interviews of people, Like you see little quotes on Instagram. Like I've watched interviews of Doc Rivers and our coach right now, however you say his name, Dagano, but they both say that Shea is the best player they've ever coached. Like he's something special. Like he will not just be one of the best NBA players like right now, but like he's going to have a great career. Like he's going to be amazing. And I think people are just like not seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still somehow underrated because everybody can see the stat line, but what people don't know is that he's literally the most efficient player in the NBA, and he shoots majority mid-range.
Dude,
It's like
I
it's like
was
watching
looking
prime
at
DeMar
all of
DeRozan on
their
steroids.
I was looking at all of their stats combined or compared to each other, Chet and Shea, and Chet actually has better efficiency ratings than Shea does.
On 3-point, right? When it's field
Three
goal, I'm pretty
point
sure Shea
rating,
still has him.
no. Field goal, 2 point, 3 point. The only thing Shea has better efficiency at is free throw.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fair. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. It was I didn't know that either. I thought for
Wow.
sure Shea would have been ahead.
Well, to be fair,
What's
Chet also
Irving gonna
is
look like?
he's also a
Okay,
center,
go
so
ahead.
he's gonna have the closer range shot, so he should have the higher efficiency, you know?
Yeah, yeah, realistically he should, and he's as tall as the basket. He can just put it in. So
Yeah.
like, come on. Like for KU, Udoka Azubuike just had one of the best efficiencies like in college history, just because every single point he scored was a dunk.
Okay, so basically, I think we all kind of agreed that Shea's going to be the better player out of the two,
Chase him.
but we're not going to be surprised if Shet puts himself in that conversation.
So
Because
Speaking
they're
of
you're
both.
you're
Chet,
switching.
I
So
think he
you're
just
switching.
got hit in the nuts.
I'm
Oh,
switching.
are you switching?
I've been
Okay.
switched for a while. I do
All
think that
right.
Shea is going to be the better player, just
All
because
right.
he's been otherworldly this season, and Chet's just too much of a question mark at the time, and Shea's already here and he's already arrived. But who knows? In 2 to 3 years, Chet could be a top 20 player in the NBA and could be very easily in that conversation. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Completely could. Yep.
Yeah, like I'm
I
not gonna
think
be
he will
surprised.
be.
Yeah, I think there's
Yeah,
a good chance he is.
yeah. I mean, he's literally what 20, 21 years old and is
21,
already
I think.
a top three defensive big in the league. So sky's the limit for Chet.
Yep.
Thunder's future.
Incredible.
I
It,
think it's
Could
just
have a
hard to. I
dynasty.
think it's
Could
hard to
have a
argue the two
dynasty.
players because I think what Shea gives you is completely different than what Chet might give a team.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
I mean,
Hmm.
not completely different, but I mean,
Yeah.
Chet's going to be the defensive presence down low, and Shea's going to be the distributor slash
yeah,
just the leader of the team and also the leading scorer no matter what. I don't think Chet will ever be the leading scorer over
Same.
Shea,
Yeah, I
but I think
agree
his
on that one.
impact could be equal to Shea's.
yeah,
Shea's got 16 in this first half, on
yeah,
track for 32. So average night.
yeah. I was gonna say that's like mid as hell for him, but
Yeah.
for his standards at least. Okay, well, I think we're gonna wrap up our talk for the NBA right there. Shout out Thunder. They're gonna be the greatest team of all time apparently because they're already so good and they have 30 million draft picks within the next 5 years. So
And Shea's what, 26, and he's our oldest player. That actually matters.
yeah, so shout out Thunder. Future's bright for them. But now we're gonna segue into our new topic, which is Would You Rather?
Hmm.
And how this is going to work, just so that way the people listening know, we're not talking about, oh, like this person has a better contract or this person's younger. Scratch that, throw it out the window. Who is the better player right now?
Right
Who would
now.
you rather have for this next season? So if you're really high on a player and you think that he's going to make a big leap, and you think someone's going to regress, you can do that. But so the first one that we're gonna do is Would You Rather T. Higgins edition. And the reason why I picked T.
Love it.
Higgins to be our first one is because he's a big question mark. Because we know the kind of talent he has, but he had a very disappointing contract year this past season. He'd been hurt. We've seen flashes of greatness, but we've also seen him have one catch in an entire 4-quarter game. So I want to get a gauge on how you guys feel about him. So I'm gonna pull up a
But
list.
before we get to like comparing him, I just want to say T. Higgins is him. Like he in college, dude, at Clemson, had one of the best seasons of a wide receiver in college as a junior. He played minimally his first season, his freshman season, like 300 yards. Second season, he went off, had like 900 yards on 12 touchdowns. And then his third season had like 1,400 yards on like 18 touchdowns. Like, dude. And if you look at his plays, ridiculous, insane.
Yeah. Um, I'm just gonna give you guys a forewarning. I'm very high on T. Higgins. So, without further ado, let's get going. Would you rather T. Higgins or
My
first name
God.
up? This is gonna be an easy one. Gabriel Davis.
Oh, Gabe Davis.
T. Higgins.
Easy, Gabe Davis. T. Higgins all the way. I
This should be
hate
a clear
Gabe
sweep.
Davis.
That was a terrible, like, that's not a
No, I know.
question.
We got to start off easy.
Then
We got to
build
start
up,
off
okay,
easy.
build
okay.
up, build
Yeah,
up.
see,
Yeah.
here, Gabe Davis, he's not
He's
He's
even
like third
close.
string.
terrible.
He's
I
like
see
third string on the Bills.
yeah, I
Yeah.
understand the comparison. I see where you're getting at.
He's
Like
good for
kind of
one
similar
catch,
plays, but
33 yards a game.
Hey, 4
no,
touchdowns
he
in a
was he
single
was
game.
good for the Bengals
4.
Chiefs game when he
Yeah.
went off for 4
Bills
touchdowns.
Chiefs game. Bills Chiefs
What
game.
did I say?
Bengals.
Bills
Bengals.
Chiefs game.
Yeah, but yes, besides that, he's been mediocre.
Yeah.
He's like a
Mediocre at
Mike
best.
Williams, kind
He's
of.
terrible.
He just really gets
He's
the
terrible.
long balls.
Mike Williams is better than Gabe Davis.
Talking about Dave.
Mike Williams
Talking
is
about
so
Dave.
much better.
Mike
But
Yeah.
I
Williams
get
is
what
a
you're
dog,
saying.
one of the most underrated
I get what
players
you're
in the
saying.
league. Don't
Yeah,
talk
Mike
to me.
Mike Williams is
Mike
really
Williams, I love the kid.
Yeah. So that was a really easy one to start off.
Is
Next
Mike
name up. Would
Williams
you
on here?
rather? No, I actually didn't.
Ah,
But next name up. Would you rather T. Higgins or Brandon Ayuk? I'm gonna personally have T. Higgins just because
yeah.
athleticism wise,
Mm.
unmatched. I think T. Higgins, if he goes into the right scheme and the team that uses him the way that I know that he can be used, I think that he's going to be better than Brandon Ayuk.
These are just so
Nope.
tough because they're just like better options on those teams. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk.
Uh-huh.
Brandon Ayuk's great player, but the amount he gets used compared to T. Higgins, I feel like T. Higgins is going to take the ball.
Dude, I don't know. I think this is a tough one. They're both
Yeah,
like the
this is a tough
same
one.
age
I
too.
got some tougher ones too, though. So,
I
or at
think
least in my opinion,
I'd take T. Higgins, I would
yeah,
say. I think I would. He's I think they're the same age. Or maybe T. Higgins is
yeah.
a
I think
year
they're the same
younger.
draft class.
Yeah, I think they are. But so like age doesn't come into a factor. I think me personally, I love a big wide receiver, a physical guy who can just catch balls over anyone. So I think I'm
Yeah,
going T. Higgins because he's more that guy.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
I want to say Brandon Ayuk, just biased off this year, but I mean, I'm going to take into consideration that he is in a Kyle Shanahan offense, which gives him a lot of opportunity, but
hmm
he is also sitting behind Deebo Samuel, and Brock Purdy kind of favors him more than Deebo, I feel like, at least at the beginning of the year.
yeah,
T. Higgins did have an off year. He also had Jake Browning throwing him the ball, so that makes a little bit of a difference. But then again, Brock Purdy. But you look at the offenses that they're in, I think, yeah, I have to go T. Higgins. I
yeah.
think he has more. I don't know. I might go Brandon. I really like Brandon Ayuk after this
That's a
year,
tough
They're
one. I
both
like that
dogs.
one.
They're both dogs.
but
The way that
I'd probably go T. Higgins.
the way that I look at it is, if I'm a general manager and I'm in a mock draft and they're both on the board, who am I taking? I'm probably going to take T. Higgins.
Yeah, pure
Next name
talent.
up,
Yeah.
yeah, pure talent. Next name up, would you rather T. Higgins or Mike Evans? Ethan already kind of spoiled it. He knew that that name was coming up, but would you rather Mike Evans?
Nah,
Mike Evans.
T. Higgins.
I'm
I
taking
gotta
Mike
take
Evans.
Mike Evans. I know he's older and he might have less years left, but if I still think you have 2, 3 solid years out of him, or you have 2 years of him playing at the same ability, 3 years of and then another good year, and then a fourth like pretty solid year. I think you still get out of him, so I'd rather have Mike Evans. I feel like because I trust Mike Evans. I know what he does, and I don't know if I'm gonna get 50-50 like T Higgins all year.
I feel like
Yeah,
previous years we've seen like Chris Godwin, Mike Evans share, and now it's more Mike Evans. I mean, it's always been Mike Evans, but I feel like now it's Mike Evans.
Yeah,
yeah,
And
it's a tough one.
I also think
yeah,
Mike Evans is better. Just pure skill wise, I think he's better than T Higgins. He's been in the league longer. He catches over like contested. I feel like he catches more contested balls, and I think he's better in that realm. And I think that's what T Higgins excels at. So yeah,
yeah, that's fair. This is a hard one for me because I love Mike Evans. I've always thought that he's been disrespected. And after the year that he had, people thought that Mike Evans was going to take a step back, but no. Baker Mayfield and him took a step forward, if anything, and he looked like he had one of his best years in recent memory. But something about T. Higgins, bro, I can't put it I like T. Higgins really doesn't have a problem in his game. Like he really does everything pretty well. Would you like him to do a little bit some things a little bit better? Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go with T. Higgins just because I've seen the games that he's had. I've seen what he did his rookie year as like a 21, 22-year-old. I've seen what he's capable of. And so I'm gonna go with that high ceiling with T. Higgins. I
Not
just have to.
not only what he did his rookie year, but what he did his second year with Jamar there.
Yeah,
Like that was his best year. Jamar's rookie year was T. Higgins' best year.
yeah.
But
I also just
yeah,
want to say, shout out Mike Evans. That's a future Hall of Famer. I don't care what anyone says.
I
That's a
agree.
future Hall of
He's a
Famer.
legend. But
agreed.
this one relates to me, probably Nate too, because like mid-season, like these were two guys that like were in talks for Chiefs to trade for or to get in the off season. So like I've thought about this one before and I
I
I've
would have
still
rather had Mike Evans. I think.
I still haven't made my mind up about it, to be honest. Like T. Higgins is so good. And like what you said, I trust Mike Evans more, Nate, but like T. Higgins has basically done the exact same thing, except for this year, where he was both hurt quite a few games and Joe Burrow was terrible this year
Yeah.
for when he was playing. So like I don't know. I think right now I would lean T. Higgins, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
That's
tough.
another. Those are back-to-back tough ones.
That's
This one
just
should
purely
be,
because I like T. Higgins more too.
yeah. This one should be maybe a little bit easier. This one's easier for me, at least. Would you rather T. Higgins or Jalen Waddle? Another wide receiver too on another high-powered
Mm,
offense.
I like that
T
I'm gonna
one.
go with T.
Higgins.
Higgins.
I like that, but I'm going I'm going T. Higgins probably.
I haven't. I just feel like I haven't seen like Jalen Waddle was good before Tyreek Hill got to the Dolphins. Like he was good. He was
Hmm.
fine. I don't. He what everything he was doing. That's something that I think you can fill in with another receiver like him, but you can't necessarily fill in what T Higgins can do because
Yeah.
they're definitely different type of players. I feel like, but I'd rather have
Yeah.
what T Higgins does rather than what Jalen Waddle's going to do for me.
Hmm.
I think that's a perfect way to sum it up, actually. Like, I think you're actually right on the money, and that's why I would rather have T. Higgins.
Yeah. I think that it's really dependent on your team. But
Yeah.
like if we're just talking straight wide receiver, I'm going T. Higgins.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think Waddle's more of like a plant receiver, while
yeah,
T Higgins is a big ball receiver,
Hmm.
and
See,
I
yeah,
think I'd
like
just rather have T.
yeah, I'd rather have a quarterback who can throw the ball, who can throw the ball deep, and have a player like T Higgins than I would want a QB that throws it 5 yards to Jalen Waddle. But like
Yeah.
Tua.
that's all of Jalen Waddle's catches. They're either 5 yard
Yeah.
catches and he does all of it, or
yeah,
it's a downfield ball that's like 40 yards. That's that's what his catches are pretty much.
yeah. This is another one. I don't know how you guys feel about this next player, but would you rather T. Higgins or DK Metcalf?
I'm taking
I'm
DK.
taking. Okay, okay. DK.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm personally taking T. Higgins just because I think DK Metcalf, all he is an athletic person. He's an athletic football player. I think that's all he is. He has not shown me any skill on the football field whatsoever. Yeah, he had that crazy game against Dallas, against Darren Bland, where he just kind of dusted everyone. And don't get me wrong, DK Metcalf is still a really good wide receiver, but it's just T. Higgins to me. I'm not high on DK Metcalf whatsoever.
He's never had a quarterback, DK.
I guess
I
that's
think he's
fair.
just he's so physical, and I'm big into physical wide receivers.
Yeah.
Russell
And
Wilson, but
That's what I
well,
was thinking.
towards the end of his career,
yeah,
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
that is true. That is true.
I think I kind of agree with Bubba. I think DK Metcalf is an athletic freak. Like the clip of him running down Buda Baker on that potential pick six is insane. Like I would
Hmm.
be terrified if I turned around and saw that.
The
But
5,000 yard stare.
yeah, but to be fair, I think he, as far as receiving skills go, if he's not just going to burn a guy downfield, I think his receiving skills are above average. I'd say like a 6.5 out of 10 receiving skills,
0.
besides just burning him. Okay, so
Exactly.
yeah,
Dude,
I'm taking T Higgins.
I'm I always love to do this because I completely agreed with you guys on like T Higgins being like a better hands-on wide receiver. Like he's more talented, less of an athlete, but more talented at football. But like T Higgins has a higher drop percentage. He does have a higher passer rating when like being thrown to, but he's got more drops. He has a worse uh target to reception ratio, or
Who?
reception to
T.
target
Higgins?
ratio. Yeah.
Then DK?
Yeah, DK is
Yeah.
That is
more
very
efficient
surprising to
of
me.
a catcher than T Higgins statistically.
How many targets does DK get compared to T Higgins?
He gets more. Actually, it's kind of similar. There's no target per game here that I can see, but he's played a year longer and has had like 25 more targets. So he does get more targets, but
Okay.
not a crazy amount more.
Yeah. And I know that I was just like absolutely ripping into DK Metcalf, but regardless of what we think about his talent, he does have 1,000 yard seasons. He is he is a very like the athleticism wise, like you can't take that away from him. Even if he's not talented as like an actual skill, but like player, that athleticism can carry him. And
Yeah.
it kind of does. And that athletic prowess on the outside is something that teams do have to respect. So scheme wise, I will give DK Metcalf his flowers when it comes to that. He is a very scary player to line up against. You don't really want to leave him one on one and just get burnt for a 60-yard touchdown like we saw in that Cowboys game against Darren Bland. But he's dog shit, respectfully. So give me T. Higgins.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree. T Higgins.
it should
I'm the
be
only DK. Okay.
that's fair.
I'm taking
Is
DK.
Mac the only one with T or with DK Metcalf?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. I actually thought, Ethan, I thought you were going to say DK. No lie.
I
really did.
dude, I've been on T. Higgins since college. Like he's been one of my favorite wide receivers since before he was in the NFL.
That's more than fair. This next name up, we've all kind of consensusly said T. Higgins. This next one, I'm really curious to see. Would you rather T. Higgins or Puka Nakua? I'm taking Puka. I'm not gonna
Puka.
lie. Puka's
Puka's a
him,
dog,
bro.
dude.
Puka's so good. Even though I didn't know this until today when I like looked into it. Because when I think of Puka, I think of crazy good contested catches. Like he's got crazy highlights. Puka Nakua led the league in drops this year, like by a good margin. I think he had 13 drops this season, and I think second place was 9. Like,
Mm.
so
Was
that
was
is
second
something that
was second place Kadarius Tony?
no, he didn't.
I
He
hope
wasn't
he
even on
didn't
like the
have that
top.
many.
Yeah,
I
he
hope
didn't
he
have that
didn't
many
have that many
opportunities
chances.
to
Yeah.
drop. Yeah,
He led the league in the most like crucial game-winning drops.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
For sure. Hey, not as bad as the one who we should not speak of, the car company.
You lost me
American
there.
one. Yep, I think Nate got it.
Cost
No.
us a
Yep,
Super Bowl.
yep, there you are. And
Never
AFC
Are you talking about
forget D
that
Championship
Ford.
Bucks?
game.
Are you talking about that
Never forget
Bucks?
never forget what D Ford did to us.
Yeah.
Lining up offsides against the Patriots in the 2018 AFC Championship
Uh,
game where Tom Brady threw a pick and then it got called back because he was offsides and then Tom Brady stormed down the field, tied the game, went to overtime, got the ball and beat us.
Yeah.
Because our defense was Swiss cheese.
Terrible. Our defense was so bad. And that was what, 4 years ago? 5 years ago. Jeez.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking Puka. What did you guys say?
Yeah, Puka. I love him. He literally like changed my life. Puka Nakua.
I'm not gonna take anybody. I don't think I've seen enough of Puka
That's
I've
fair.
seen
to
enough.
make an
I've
opinion
seen
to
enough
have an
too.
opinion.
I'm just saying Puka based off recency bias.
That's fair.
Heavily
I don't even
recency
think it's
bias.
bias. I
I
don't
mean,
even think that's bias.
I
It's his
hate that
rookie year and he's
question.
doing this.
I hate that question because they're probably no, they are my two favorite young wide receivers in the league, besides Rashi Rice. Love him, but yeah, I think yeah, like Nate said, off of recency bias, like Puka's like by far my favorite wide receiver right now.
I'm big on Rasheed Rice.
Same,
I like him.
I am too.
I like him a
He can
lot.
definitely be something special.
Yeah.
Need to
I
see a lot more of him next year. I think he
Oh,
could
for
go
sure.
for like 1,250 yards plus next year.
I think that's more than fair and reasonable. I didn't have Rasheed Rice on this list because I think we all consistently
No,
would say
yeah,
T. Higgins.
I would
Yeah,
say
like
T. Higgins too.
Yeah,
okay, I got
I
four
just
more
don't think
names.
we've seen enough.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
agree.
got four more names for the T. Higgins. Would you rather? Let's try and make this a little
Let
bit quicker.
yeah,
Um,
let's speed run
let's do
these.
rapid fire to finish
Yeah,
off T. Higgins because we've talked about him a lot. Would you
yeah.
rather T. Higgins or Devontae Smith? I'm taking T. Higgins.
I'm thinking
Devontae Smith.
Devontae. Yeah,
Oh,
Wow, I did not see that coming. Okay, I thought we were gonna clean sweep T. Higgins. Devontae is
after
him
this
though.
year, I'm taking T. Higgins. I know he
I
still
think
had a worse year than Devontae, but I had Devontae in fantasy and not a fan. Not a fan.
the Eagle receiving core is better than the Bengals receiving core. So, and I match AJ Brown to Jamar and then Devonta to T, and I take Devonta.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
It's
Um,
definitely
would you
fair.
rather would you rather T. Higgins or Amari Cooper? That's tough.
Mm,
That is so tough for me, but
that's a
I think I'm gonna
really
slightly
tough
lean T.
one.
Higgins just because the ceiling's higher. But I do think Amari Cooper has the higher floor. Like that is the safer pick. But I feel like I'd
I th
rather gamble on T.
I think
Higgins.
this is this is the first one I go against T. Higgins, I think I'm going Amari Cooper.
Okay. You
I
also
like
said Puka,
Amari.
I did
right?
say Puka. Yeah,
Okay.
I said Puka.
I like Amari on the Cowboys. I don't think he's as good on the Browns, so I'm going to take T. But he's a great
I agree.
receiver.
we saw
Yeah.
flashes of it last few weeks.
Yeah,
though,
no, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with Joe
definitely.
Flacco once he
Yeah,
started
Joe
having a
Flacco
good quarterback go to him.
spraying the ball.
Yeah,
Spraying the ball to
legend.
Amari Cooper.
I'm probably
Looks
gonna go
like
T Higgins just
all right,
future wise.
hit us with the
Same.
next one.
Would you rather T. Higgins or Chris Godwin? I'm taking T. Higgins personally.
Yeah, I'm
T
taking
Higgins.
T Higgins.
Yeah.
I've always thought Godwin was a little bit overrated.
I agree. I've never been high on Chris Godwin. And then last name I have, I think this one's really close. I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about it, but would you rather T. Higgins or Chris Olave?
T Higgins probably. I haven't watched Olave a lot, but like obviously I've seen like highlights and like watched a little bit of his game. I think he's really underrated, but I do think T Higgins has the edge.
Same. That was me. Like he was one of my favorite wide receivers out of his draft class, and I really liked him just off of his college highlights. But I think T. Higgins takes it for me. I haven't watched enough of Olave in the NFL. And to be honest, I don't really know like his numbers that he's put up either.
To be fair,
Lamar.
Olave does have Drew Brees does have Derek Carr throwing him the ball, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think based off pure talent, I'm gonna take Olave.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think I am gonna take Olave, and I love T. Higgins, but Olave, I mean, like Nate said, had Derek Carr throwing him the ball. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to disrespect Derek Carr, but disrespectfully, he's dog shit.
he's
And
terrible.
it was very hard watching him this year because every time he would drop
Yeah.
back, he just had no idea how to throw the ball away, and he would take a sack. And what that does to an offense and how they like function and drive down the field, it just makes it impossible. And not only that, but I feel like there's so many times where Chris Olave just wasn't being used like properly, and he still was a dog. I mean, the film backs it up, and I think the numbers back it up too. But I'm gonna
Hey,
take Chris Olave.
Chris Olave, remember his terrible quarterback play? Not terrible, but mediocre is how quarterback play. He is only 2 seasons in the NFL, 1,000 plus yards.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's really good.
Olave's
He's
him.
really damn good.
Only rookie season, only 4 touchdowns, and this season only 5 touchdowns. So not a whole lot of efficiency in the red zone or in the end
Yeah,
zone.
he is a smaller
But
receiver. I
he
think
is.
him
No,
and
yeah, that's true.
Odunze are like kind of like the same skill set, even though Odunze is a larger receiver, but that would be my player comp for him at least. I think
I
they
like
both have
that.
very similar catching and like
Well,
pinpoint,
Olave
like
is
catching
more
the ball out there.
downfield, much more downfield than
Yeah,
Odunze,
I
I
agree.
feel like. But
No, yeah, I
I
agree.
comp
But
I compare Devonta and Olave to each other.
yeah, that's fair.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good comparison.
yeah, but I think I'm gonna take Olave. All right, so that's gonna be it for T. Higgins. Next one, this is gonna be fun because I myself don't even know some of the answers to this one, but would you rather Derrick Henry next season only, so don't even look past the 2024 season,
Yeah,
strictly
next
Derrick
season only.
Henry
Yeah,
next season, not fantasy, in real life, like you're a team trying to make a playoff push. Who do you want? Derrick Henry, first name up, Tony Pollard. This one, just like the Gabe Davis, should be easy. I'm taking Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
Derrick Henry. He amazes me. He's amazing. This is his seventh, one, two, three, four.
Seven
This
or
is his
eight.
eighth year in the NFL. Still just cruising, playing every single game, getting over 1,000 rushing yards. Like, dude is for the type of running back he is, insane that he's lasted 8 seasons.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Is that a clean sweep, Henry?
yeah,
Yeah,
Right?
Derrick.
yeah, I'm taking Derek.
Yeah. Next name up, Derrick Henry or Aaron Jones? I'm taking Derrick Henry pretty easily in
Derrick
my opinion.
Henry.
I've always loved Aaron Jones, but I think he's never reached that tier. And I think Derrick Henry still is at that tier, even if he hasn't necessarily looked like it this year, last year. He still is in that tier, and I'm taking Derrick Henry.
I think this is
Yeah.
closer than I think this is like honestly really close personally, but like Aaron Jones, good check down guy. good touchdown scorer, pretty efficient in the red zone. But I think you take Derek at the end of the day. He's just a
Same.
beast.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love Aaron.
yeah,
Like, I think I've drafted him like the past 4 years, or he's at least been on my fantasy team the past 4 years. I love Aaron Jones, but he is injury prone, gets hurt every season, is out for like at least 2 games every season, pretty much. And like games around there, takes a while to get back into things. That's just from a fantasy perspective, but yeah.
yeah. Mixing him up, Derrick Henry or AK-41, aka Alvin Kamara. I'm taking Derrick Henry just because Alvin Kamara didn't impress me this past season. I think he's just a check down merchant now at this point. I think he lost a lot of his burst. Even though Derrick Henry is getting up there in age, so is Alvin Kamara. And no disrespect to Alvin Kamara, he's still a very good running back, but I just have to take Derrick Henry.
I would debate that Alvin Kamara has more bursts than Derrick Henry right
Oh
now.
no, he does, but like Derrick Henry's also way more dominant as a power
Yeah,
back, and I just
yeah.
would rather have that.
That's a
Pass
really
I'm
hard.
game,
taking the
I'm taking Kamara, but run game, I think overall you have to take Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Even though Alvin Kamara did help lead me to a fantasy championship. Shout out AK-41, sorry.
I
My
think I'm
dog.
actually taking him. I think I'm taking Alvin Kamara.
really?
Yeah.
Over Derrick Henry?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'm taking the
Now,
king.
take this. I'm taking it from a Chiefs perspective. I'm thinking next year, 2024 on the Chiefs. I think I would want Alvin Kamara more than Derrick Henry.
Really? Okay. Next name up, this one should be a clean sweep in my opinion, just because age-wise they're in the same boat, but would you rather Derrick Henry or Austin Eckler?
Henry
Mm,
Eckler's so
I
mid now.
I like it. Yeah, that's true. I'd like it if it was last year. I've been off on
Yeah.
Eckler for the past like
Eckler
three
just has no
years.
burst anymore.
I
Yeah,
was wrong the
I was gonna
past
say he
two
just
years.
regressed way too much.
Yeah, I was wrong the past 2 years on him because or the 2 years before this year, he was still really good. Crazy numbers, put up crazy numbers, and I did not think he was going to. But yeah, I'm taking Derrick Henry any day for this one.
If
Not a
Eckler
big
didn't have
Eckler
his year,
fan.
if Eckler didn't have his year this year, I'd be taking Eckler, and I think I'm going to take Eckler. Um, I just he got hurt this season, and I don't think he fully recovered from that. And if he's fully healthy next season, I think he's a better back.
Okay, that's fair. Um, Next name up, this isn't close in my opinion. Derrick Henry or Breece Hall. I'm taking Breece Hall
Brees
all
Hall.
day. Not even projection wise, like just after what we've seen this past season, Breece Hall still clears in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I think
Going
Brees Hall.
forward, yes, Brees Hall easy.
I
Yeah, I'd Brees Hall on
even
my
right
fan.
now, like next year, I think Brees Hall for sure. I think he was
I'd Brees.
probably better this year than Derrick Henry
Yeah, easily,
on a
in my
on
opinion.
a per game basis.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had him on my fantasy. He was off and on, but I think Brees
Yeah,
Hall is better. He can do it. He can do everything
yeah.
yeah,
If they're in the same situation, Brees Hall, I think for sure
easily.
does better than
yeah.
Derrick
He's
Henry.
also just super young too.
Crazy
Mhm.
young. Also, I don't know if Mac knows this, but he's a Wichita boy from the
Yeah,
Dub.
Breece Hall,
Did not
he's
know,
a dog.
did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Um, Next name up, would you rather Derrick Henry or K9 Kenneth Walker?
Mm,
I'm taking Kenneth Walker. He's so good. He's already elite.
don't really know much about him other than his like ridiculous game that he had at Michigan State. I don't think I've like ever really paid attention to him. I've never been super high on him like coming into any year. I don't think I've watched him play. Never watched the Seahawks play, really, unless they're playing like against Puka or CMC. So I
Yeah, I don't
really
know.
don't know much about him. So
I'm
I'm
probably
going.
I'm probably taking Derrick Henry just because K9 was a little injured this year. He wasn't injured a lot, but he missed at least 3 games if I remember correctly. If I'm remembering correctly. So I
Okay, but
gotta
I don't know any.
even without injury, I feel like Kenneth Walker's better.
I
I'll
gotta go
look at
Derrick
these
Henry.
stats. This is a stat-worthy check.
Yeah. I think Kenneth Walker clears in my opinion. And projection wise for
I
next year, I feel like he's going to take an even bigger step.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Kenneth, and yeah, I can't make a choice. I
All
don't
right,
know
we're just
enough
gonna look
about
at the
Kenneth.
2023 stats.
Kenneth Walker's him, bro. Y'all need to go look at Kenneth Walker highlights because they're nasty. He's crazy, bro. And I wasn't even high. I wasn't even that high on Kenneth Walker as a prospect, but his rookie year impressed the absolute hell out of me. And now he's one of my dogs. I
Then I
love
have
Kenneth
this.
Walker.
Okay, so same yards per attempt, basically. Derrick Henry is 4.2, Kenneth Walker at 4.1. Henry obviously had more touchdowns. He was 12-8 on that one. Receptions, they were Kenneth Walker had one more, 29-28, Kenneth Walker for receptions. And yards, he had like 40 more reception yards. So I would take Derrick Henry for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, I got two more names, actually three, because I'm gonna have one more for you guys. And let's try and rapid fire this off. Derrick Henry or Bijan Robinson?
Bijan.
I'm
Bijan.
taking Bijan.
Bijan, yeah, Bijan.
Um, this one's really interesting in my opinion. Derrick Henry or Kyron Williams?
I don't know
Not even,
Kyron.
not even
Derrick
I
fantasy.
Henry.
I think
IRL.
IRL, I think I'm taking Derrick Henry. I think the McVay trust in running backs just is way too heavy of a factor in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think if like when McVay trusts a running back, that running back is going to be a top 5 running back in fantasy. Like he just is.
yeah. I think I still have to take Derrick Henry, but Kyron Williams, not even fantasy wise, but like he was
Really
also just
talented.
Kyron Williams impressed the hell out of me. I was not
Oh
high
yeah.
on him at all.
Dude, yeah.
But he shocked me a little bit.
If you put up those numbers, he's got to be talented.
Yeah. And last name, this is for you boys on the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco
Isaiah
or Derrick
Pacheco.
Henry.
Isaiah Pop Pacheco. Hey,
I'm taking Pacheco too.
What do we? Yeah, I don't know. I like Pacheco.
right here,
What do you guys
baby.
think of?
Right
What do you
here.
guys think of James
Come on.
Cook?
Crazy year.
Mid.
Crazy
I was
year.
gonna
Mid.
say
I think
he
he
had
Had a
pretty
proved
great
good,
great
I
year.
think he proved himself that he can like
Yeah.
potentially live up to his
I
brother.
think. Yeah, I think he's really fucking good. I think he's really, 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 really good. He's super fast, super versatile. I think he
Yeah.
can do it all.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Like if you were to say James Cook over Derrick Henry, I wouldn't argue it. But I think I personally would rather have Derrick Henry. But yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
I think I'd take James Cook personally.
I
that's
think
fair.
that's all the
Yeah,
time that we got for today.
yeah. So that was episode 2 of the Bedsheet Ball Zone. Thank you, Nate and Mac,
Thank
for
you,
joining
boys.
me and Ethan.
Great
We'll
time.
have to have you
Thanks for
guys on
having
another
us.
time. Yeah. And so yeah, that's gonna wrap up for episode 2. Catch us next week for episode 3. We're gonna have more juicy sports content for y'all. Yeah, that's gonna be it for now.
Next time we talk, we'll be in the Super Bowl.
Yup.
All
Woo!
right, come on, baby. Let's go.
All right. Yep.
Peace.